In the heart of an ancient African village, nestled under the shade of a colossal baobab tree, lived a young man named Suleiman. While his peers toiled under the sun, their hands calloused from honest work, Suleiman was known for his charm, a smile as bright as the morning sun, and a deep-seated aversion to any form of labor. He would lounge for hours, his laughter echoing through the village as he watched others work, convinced his cleverness was a far greater asset than mere sweat and toil. One day, a wave of excitement swept through the community. The Council of Elders was to hold its most sacred celebration, a grand feast to honor the spirits of the land and bestow blessings of prosperity and wisdom upon the worthy. The air buzzed with anticipation, the aroma of spices being prepared and the sound of distant drums practicing for the ceremony filled the village. To be invited was the highest honor, a recognition of one's contribution to the community's well-being. Suleiman's stomach rumbled at the thought of the succulent roasted meats, sweet honey cakes, and frothy palm wine. His mouth watered, but a bitter truth soured the fantasy. He had done nothing to earn a place at that feast. He had planted no seeds, mended no fences, and offered no help. The elders would never invite him. As he watched his neighbors proudly polishing their ceremonial garments, a familiar, cunning glint appeared in his eyes. Laziness had made him idle, but envy now made him a schemer. He wouldn't work for his invitation. He would talk his way into it. His plan began to form as he saw Adamu, a respected elder known for his kind heart, preparing for a journey. Adamu was leading a small group of travelers to the sacred grove where the feast would take place. This was Suleiman's chance. He approached Adamu, his face a mask of sincerity and newfound purpose. "Elder Adamu," Suleiman began, his voice filled with a carefully crafted tone of respect. "I have been watching our people prepare, and my heart is heavy. I have been idle for too long, lost in my own selfish ways. But seeing the unity of our village has awakened something in me. I wish to walk with you, not for the feast, but to learn. I want to feel the spirit of our community, to understand the meaning of working together. Please, allow me to join your pilgrimage. I ask for nothing but the honor of your company and the chance to become a better man." Adamu, ever willing to see the good in people, was moved by Suleiman's apparent change of heart. The other travelers, overhearing his passionate plea, nodded in agreement. It was a good omen, they thought, for a lost soul to seek the path of fellowship on such a holy day. "Of course, my son," Adamu said, placing a gentle hand on Suleiman's shoulder. "The path to wisdom is open to all who seek it. You are welcome among us." Suleiman bowed his head, hiding a triumphant smirk. The first part of his plan had worked perfectly. The journey was long, and the sun was hot. The travelers shared their water and food, telling stories of their ancestors and singing songs of harvest and rain. Suleiman played his part beautifully. He listened intently, offered words of encouragement, and spoke eloquently about the importance of unity and shared destiny. He didn't lift a finger to help carry the supplies, of course, but his charming words kept everyone's spirits high. He was a performer, and this was his grandest stage. He had them all believing he was a reformed man, a prodigal son returning to the fold. When they finally arrived at the sacred grove, the sight was breathtaking. Torches illuminated a clearing where long tables overflowed with every imaginable delicacy. The air was thick with the scent of incense and roasting yams. The most revered elders sat at the head table, their faces serene and wise. In the center of the clearing stood the altar of blessings, where the high elder would soon channel the ancestral spirits. Adamu led his group to a place of honor, proud to present the young man who had seemingly found his way. As the ceremony began, the high elder rose, his voice booming across the grove. "Spirits of our ancestors, we thank you for your bounty. We offer our gratitude and ask for your blessings. Let prosperity flow, let wisdom guide us, and let our community remain strong and united." He then explained the ritual. A representative from each group would approach the altar, and the elder would bestow a collective blessing upon them and all they represented. "Who speaks for your group, Adamu?" the high elder asked. Before Adamu could answer, Suleiman stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with ambition. "I will, esteemed elder," he declared, his voice ringing with false humility. "My friends have granted me this honor, as a symbol of our shared journey towards unity." The travelers, surprised but still caught in the web of his deception, simply nodded, trusting the moment. Adamu hesitated for a second, a flicker of doubt in his eyes, but he did not object. Suleiman strode to the altar, his heart pounding not with reverence, but with pure, unadulterated greed. He knelt before the high elder, who placed his hands upon his head. "Speak the names of your people," the elder commanded, "and the blessing shall be shared among you all." This was the moment Suleiman had been waiting for. He took a deep breath, and instead of naming Adamu or the travelers, he spoke only one name, his own, over and over again. "Bless Suleiman," he chanted, his voice growing louder and more frantic. "Let all prosperity be for Suleiman, all wisdom for Suleiman, all fortune for Suleiman alone." A collective gasp swept through the clearing. The air grew cold. Adamu and the travelers stared in disbelief, their faces a mixture of shock and betrayal. The high elder pulled his hands back as if burned, his expression turning from serene grace to thunderous fury. "Deceiver," he roared, his voice echoing off the ancient trees. "You have defiled this sacred ritual with your selfishness. You have poisoned the spirit of unity with your greed." Suleiman, realizing his catastrophic miscalculation, scrambled to his feet. The faces that had looked at him with admiration were now filled with contempt. He saw no welcome, no fellowship, only disgust. Panic seized him. He turned and fled, tripping over roots and stones in his haste to escape the hundreds of accusing eyes. He ran blindly, heedless of the path, until his foot caught on a tangled vine. He fell hard, crashing to the ground with a sickening crack. It wasn't the sound of bone breaking. It was the sound of his ceremonial armor, a borrowed chest plate he wore to look the part, splitting right down the middle. He lay there, gasping for breath, not from the fall, but from the crushing weight of his disgrace. The feast continued, but a heavy silence had fallen over the grove. Suleiman was left behind, abandoned in the darkness, alone with his broken pride and the shattered symbol of his treachery. From that day forward, Suleiman was an outcast. He could never fix the armor, and he wore the cracked plate as a constant reminder of his betrayal. The deep fissure in the metal became a permanent mark of his character, a visible scar representing the trust he had broken and the unity he had scorned. The story of Suleiman and his cracked armor became a legend, a tale told to children to teach them that a community is built on honesty and shared effort, not on charm and deceit, and that the blessings we receive are sweetest only when they are shared. For a prize won through betrayal is no prize at all, but a curse that marks you for life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales. We'll see you in the next video.